And good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Sports Corner Draft Preview. And we're here for round four of today's draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers have just picked. And the interesting part I see here is that the Steelers now, because of the wide receiver problem, are so desperate for a wide receiver that they went out and they got in the fourth round Calvin Austin the third, wide receiver from Memphis. Now, I'm not real pleased about this because we need some offensive linemen here, and I understand we're hurting at wide receiver. I realize that, but this kid is only 5 feet 8, and he only weighs 175 pounds. The good news of him is he's fast. The bad news is he's too small. Okay, maybe he can run and take the pitches from the quarterback to run in Matt Canada's offense. But to me, I understand he has speed, but the NFL now, you got to have height and speed. You can't have a small guy like this. I think it's a waste of a fourth round pick. Steelers only have three more picks. They better start lining up some offensive linemen here. They need a linebacker. They need some stuff here. All the main stuff I know is gone. I just saw another tackle go off the board. Okay? So, I mean, now Baltimore's picking again. All right? They're loading up on tight ends. And the interesting thing is, they're not only loading up on tight ends, they're loading up on big guys. And the Steelers have to play them this year. All right? Okay, so I'm going to review the whole fourth round here. I will not be available to do a broadcast for the fifth, sixth, and seventh picks for the Steelers. But when I get back from church later on this evening, I will let you know via Facebook, and we will have a broadcast for the fifth, sixth, and seventh rounds of the draft, and it involves the Steelers as well. We will be on as soon as I immediately get back from church. I can't guarantee you what time. I'm sorry. I have church obligation today and cannot do the fifth, sixth, and seventh round review of the Steelers draft pick and the draft until I get back from church later on, or later on this evening. All right. So, and then I will be on with you later on this evening. I'm looking to see who the Ravens are picking next. All right, so the Steelers got this Calvin. I understand the kid's got speed, but he's too small for a wide receiver. And maybe, just maybe, he might be able to spell off someone and run a kick and punts back for a touchdown, something we haven't seen for a while. And we're going to have to get our quarterback some good field position this year because the way I see it, no pun intended, we're in trouble as far as you know we need to get some good field position. Every time we turn around, we don't have a decent kick returner that can't get us any field position, and it's terrible. All right. So, okay, I'm waiting for the Ravens pick to come in. They picked Isaiah Likely, tight end from Coastal Carolina. I want to tell you a little joke here. It seems like uh, Cleveland picked up a kicker from LSU in the fourth round. And, as I said earlier today, and in case no one noticed, Kevin Stefanski is the only person in the war room. This is what I've been saying about Kevin Stefanski that no one see. Okay, they just picked cornerback Demarion Williams from Houston, cornerback, in the fourth round here. The Ravens have. All right, next up is the LA Rams and then Tennessee, and then we move into the fifth round, which I'm not going to be able to broadcast for you today until later on this evening because of my church obligation. All right, Demarion Williams from Houston is their pick in the fourth round. They have 6 fourth-round picks. 6, Baltimore does. They're loading up on all kinds of draft picks. And a lot of these teams are doing that anyway because some of the ones that really have cap problems, like the New York Giants and a few others in Minnesota, some of these teams have these very exciting brand new coaches that really want to start to get the team rolling in the right direction. The only sad part about it is Miami can't because of they gave away all their draft picks because of the trade for for Tyreek Hill. So what I'm saying is is that you got teams like Miami that got themselves already in a hole with a new head coach before they can even get the season started. Minnesota has been stacking up picks. Uh, the Ravens, even though they don't have a new coach, been stacking up picks. So I mean, some of these teams with new coaches and some of the ones with coaches on eggshells, they've been stacking up picks. New Orleans, they gave away their fourth round pick so they could move up and down in the first and second rounds. New Orleans got some good athletes doing that. The Steelers this year just didn't have that luxury. They only had 7 total picks. Usually, if they get some compensatory picks, they'll start moving some things around and getting things in different directions. They had none this year. No compensatory picks. So, you know, the Steelers were kind of stuck with that situation. The good news for the Steelers, though, this year was the fact that they were able to sign some free agents. They had a lot of money under the cap. Omar Khan, who is our draft, or our, not draft, our cap guru, who has been interviewing for all these different jobs as general manager all across the league, but has managed to keep his loyalty to the Steelers, which is great because we need him. We're in the process of getting a new GM. Kevin Colbert's wrapping things up with Mike Tomlin for this year's draft. This will be Colbert's last draft. He's going to stay on as some kind of assistant to somebody or doing something. As I mentioned before, maybe washing Art Rooney II's car or cleaning toilets or something. He's going to be doing something within the organization. So anyway, that's the story with the Steelers as far as their draft goes. Mike Tomlin's going to be on NFL Network here shortly. But thank you for tuning in. Your comments are welcome here in the comments section right here on YouTube and Facebook. We are live. My name is Ralph Williams, Sports Corner. I usually do a show here called Sports Corner, but today I'm doing a special Sports Corner to talk about the Steeler picks and the draft as well, and who the Steelers are drafting and the overall draft itself. I'm going to run down the fourth round as soon as the Rams are up and then Tennessee makes their last selection in the fourth round. Then when I come back from church later on, back here to Studio 808, we will be talking about rounds 5, 6, and 7, who everybody picked, who the Steelers picked. What's your thoughts on the draft? Comment section's wide open. Steelers in the first round took, as you well know, and if you don't, you must be hiding under a rock. They took Kenny Pickett. All right. The LA Rams have picked cornerback Jacoby Durant from South Carolina State. All right. So, I tell you what, they were talking about South Carolina State earlier today. South Carolina State has some good athletes. Look at John Stallworth. Look at Javon Hargrove, which I wish the Steelers wouldn't have let go and gave him a contract, but that's beside the point. And anyway, so I wish that would have happened because he was a good player on our defensive line. And, last year we signed Loudermilk to, Isaiah Buggs is gone. We really don't have too much except for some of the backups. Now they drafted this new kid in the third round here who was number 1 rated on Anthem Sports. And Anthem Sports is a company that puts out a draft magazine or a draft booklet every year of all the different draft stuff. And they're very thorough at what they do. They put out their number 1 defensive tackle happened to be this DeMarvin Leal, and he has actually been number 1 on several different magazines and publications and different stuff like that. He's a defensive tackle. We got him in the third round from Texas A&M. Our second round pick, George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia. Not a bad pick there, but I think they reached for this Memphis kid. We need offensive line help, defensive line. We don't have the luxury. And I understand, again, we're down 3 wide receivers. We're down 3 wide receivers because of, the loss of, Ray McLeod, Juju Smith-Schuster, and James Washington. And it's sad that we lost them, but, sometimes those things happen. And, it's all about what goes on in the, in this world of football. And that's, it's a simple fact that we ended up with that situation. I mean, I'm ready to hear that happened. Yeah, well, that's the breaks in this world. And, so your comments are welcome here. Don't forget to bring your comments aboard here. I'm Ralph Williams, Sports Corner. We talk about this fourth round draft pick, and it is Calvin Austin III, wide receiver from Memphis. Two wide receivers we've taken in this draft already. I don't know what the Steelers' plans are. I hope they have plans to get some another offensive lineman and maybe a linebacker or a safety or a corner. They know something we don't. Maybe that's the whole situation here with the Steelers, but we're going to find out. And I'm waiting for Tennessee to do their final pick before I announce the entire fourth round here of the draft. And let's see what we got here. All right, the Titan selection is in. And I have an interesting thing here. Don Aponte, who is the NFL Chief Football Administrator. Here's a funny. All right, tight end. Tennessee has drafted tight end Shikozim Okanua from however that's pronounced. Shikozim Okanua from Maryland, tight end. So there we are. That is their pick for the Tennessee Titans. Final pick of the fourth round. I will go over the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds as soon as we get things going back up here at Studio 808 after I'm finished with church. I will be back later on. We're having our church services tonight, everybody, because we have the Pittsburgh Marathon tomorrow. The marathon comes right past our church, and people are going to be unable to get there, so we have a Saturday service to offset that as well. So that's what happens with that. Okay, let's go over the whole entire fourth round here. Start things off. Tampa Bay, they started off the afternoon taking Cade Otton, tight end Washington. Big-time tight ends and running backs in this round, which was to be expected. Dameon Pierce, running back Florida, was picked up by Houston. Cleveland, Perrion Winfrey, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. Cleveland, they didn't have no picks either because of the trade they made for Amari Cooper. So their pick, they didn't have any first-round pick, or even, I don't even think they had a second. I think they had a second-round pick. I have to check. But, all right, Seattle took Kobe Bryant, cornerback out of Cincy. I had him on my list for the Steelers to pick, but unfortunately, that's the issue with that there. Well, I can't say much about that, but he's been picked by Seattle. Baltimore. Here we go again. Another one of my picks that I thought the Steelers should have took, and that was Daniel Falala, tackle out of Minnesota. This guy is a beast. And, I don't understand why the Steelers don't want to pick this guy. I thought they should have. 6'9.5", and he weighs 380 pounds. They said the biggest guy picked up in the history of the draft. So, New York Jets, Max Mitchell, tackle, Louisiana. Look at all these going bye-byes here. Steelers are missing the bus, but, again, they didn't have that many picks this year, and they got to fill in some holes. And then they end up with the wide receiver hole, and then they ended up with, the hole at quarterback. They issued that. They did that with Kenny Pickett. They may even bring in an unrestricted or an undrafted free agent as a quarterback. They call him a camp arm. They might bring him in, play a couple downs in a preseason game. I hear, and Mike Tomlin has said it, so has Kevin Colbert in a press conference for yesterday's press conference, that there will be a quarterback competition between the three quarterbacks for this year. Rumors are going around Kenny Pickett could be the starting quarterback day one of the season. We will find out what's going to happen. Comment section wide open. I'd like to hear your comments. I'm going to be here till at least 2:30 because I have to get ready to leave. I have to go to church, and I'm going to be leaving here at about 3 o'clock, so I have to get ready and get going. Finish getting going to go to church and praise the Lord. So we're going to get ready to be doing that real soon. Okay, next up, New Jersey. I already said, oh boy, wow. New York Jets, Max Mitchell. New York Giants right after that. How about that? Daniel Bellinger, tight end, San Diego State, Washington. Percy Butler, safety, Louisiana. New York Giants again. Here we go. See, the Giants are a team that has having salary cap problems. They have, 5th round, Washington has picked quarterback Sam Howell from North Carolina. Well, Washington was looking for a quarterback. They wanted a stopgap They have Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has been what I call a 50-50 quarterback. They now have him there in the new Washington Commanders. And they are going to, so they have taken Sam Howell in the fifth round to start the fifth round off. Sam Howell goes to Washington from North Carolina, quarterback. I watched Sam Howell play not just against Pitt, but against in other games for the ACC this year. So, all right, let's take a look at. Speaking of, okay, so New York Giants took Dane Belchin, safety from Iowa. Denver don't have a lot of picks this year because of the Russell Wilson trade. So Damari Mathis from Pitt. Congratulations on Damari Mathis. Denver's getting a pretty decent athlete. I actually thought that he might fall to the Steelers because we do need at least one more corner and maybe even a safety. All right, Denver picks again. Akomi Osawani, defensive tackle from Iowa State. Michael Clemens, defensive end, New York Jets. Again, Jets got a lot of picks. Robert Saleh said this year he wasn't playing games. He was trying to he's getting his team up to speed. He went through the growing pains first season last year. And, every coach does that when they have a first year. They go through some growing pains. But, the Jets fans and the Jets faithful are very impatient. And, he understands that, so it's going to wind up being that they're going to have to start getting themselves together here. Sam Howell got picked up, first pick in the fifth round by the Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders. All right. Next, let's see. Minnesota, who's been going up and down in the draft all day long, or the whole entire draft here. Ike Ipavitas, cornerback, Missouri. Baltimore again. Here we go. They picked up Jalen Armour Davis, cornerback, Alabama. Anybody from Alabama is a good athlete. Najee Harris just did the fourth round pick. He's in Monterrey, Mexico. I actually, I hope he doesn't, as they say, eat up too much, Yeah, but he's, that's where he is right now. He is in Mexico. Now, yeah, he's in Mexico, and he's enjoying himself down there with all the amigos and everybody down there. Carolina, Brandon Smith, linebacker, Penn State. Penn State guys have been going off the board. Well, Penn State always puts out good talent. They've always had, some good talent here and there, and they put out some good stuff. So. Next, Jack Jones, linebacker, Arizona State. Herm Edwards' team down there in Arizona State. Zamir White, running back, Georgia. There you go. Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders, again, they're another team. Doesn't have a lot of draft picks this year. And Josh McDaniel is their new coach down there. And I found out something very interesting, which seems to be something of the case, that when a New England assistant gets a job somewhere else, it seems like he takes everybody from New England with him. I heard he cleaned house pretty much with Bill Belichick and took most of his assistants with him, and so there we are there. All right, next, Los Angeles Chargers. Isaiah Spiller, running back, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is coached by Jimbo Fisher, former Florida State coach. Cade York. Now, here we go. Cleveland. This is why I said this earlier yesterday, and I'm going to reiterate it again today. This is why the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns, okay? Yeah, that's why the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. They drafted in the fourth round kicker from LSU, Cade York. Oh my gosh, Cade York, I can't believe it. It's funny. It's really hilarious. That's why the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry, but that's the way I see it, folks, okay? And by the way I see it will be broadcast Sunday, 9:35 p.m., 1 hour special. We have a lot to talk about, including Chinese wisdom, including Bonehead, Blast, and a whole lot more. 1 hour special, the way I see it, Sunday night, 9:35. Right here live on YouTube and Facebook. If you're going to watch any of my shows, they will all be broadcasted live on both YouTube and Facebook for your convenience. All right, next up, Miami, Eric Azukama, wide receiver, Texas Tech. New England, Pierre Strong, running back, South Dakota State. Baltimore, here we are, Baltimore again. Another tight end, Charlie Toller, tight end, Iowa. All right, Dallas, Jake Ferguson, tight end, Wisconsin. All right. And Jordan Stout, punter, Penn State, went to Baltimore. Well, at least, you know what? Maybe Baltimore needs a punter. I don't know, but I laugh at them too. You know what I mean? Because they're going to fail again. Steelers are going to beat them again this year. I think the Steelers, and it's going to be between Steelers and Cincinnati, I think, this year. And it's going to be a very interesting year for both the Steelers and the AFC North Division this year. All right, Dallas took Jake Ferguson, tight end out of Wisconsin. A lot of tight ends went in this round, punt. And then, as I mentioned before, Baltimore took Jordan Stout, punter from Penn State. Tennessee, Hassam Haskins, running back from Georgia. Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs, wide receiver, Nevada. Tampa Bay, another punter, Jake Larda, happens to be from Georgia. He's a punter. But, Georgia's an exception to the rule because they won the national championship this year. So there we are with that. Spencer Burgess, or Bergeron, tackle, University of Texas, El Paso, went to San Francisco. Yes. All right. So anyway, Kansas City, Joshua Williams, cornerback. Fayetteville State, Cincinnati, Cordell Volson, tackle, South Dakota State. Bailey Zappi, quarterback, Western Kentucky. Bailey Zappi went to New England. Okay, this Bailey Zappi's not a bad quarterback. I watched some of the film on him, and I got to tell you, he looked good in the Senior Bowl too, or in the East-West Shrine game. And I got to tell you this as well. Scott Morgan Roth, buddy of mine down at South Florida Tribune, he said that Miami should have taken, or somebody should have, that gets Bailey Zappi, and it happens to be New England. I'm trying to get my buddy Steve Baldessari on here from New England and see if I can get him to come on, and we'll talk New England and find out what the draft is. He might be coming on Thursday night, coming up May 5th, 10:15 p.m. I have a Sports Corner special draft show. I have some national guys coming on, and I have some local guys coming on. So tune in on Thursday, 10:15, live here on YouTube and on Facebook as always. I look forward to see your comments as well. All right, the Steelers, Calvin Austin III, wide receiver, Memphis. That's who the Steelers picked up. Baltimore, Isaiah Likely, tight end, Coastal Carolina. Los Angeles Rams, Jacoby Durant, cornerback, South Carolina State. Tennessee, they picked up Shaquem Okino, tight end, out of Maryland. Zach Tom, tackle, Wake Forest to Green Bay. Baltimore, once again, Damarian Williams, cornerback, Houston. And that completes the fourth round of the draft. It's great to be here with you this afternoon, talking about the NFL draft, the overall draft of all teams, and who the Steelers picked up. All right, so I'm going to give you right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to give you some ratings here from some of the publications of, some of the publications, and is number 5. Some of the athletes that we've drafted here are not too bad. We got the number 1 defensive tackle out of the top 20, which I think is great. That's a good thing. The only knock on Lil is DeMarvin Lil is the fact that he has some kind of soft tissue injuries he's had over the years, and he's having trouble with them, and he's missed a lot of games because of it. But again, they still have him rated at number one. That's pretty interesting there. We'll see there. And then, of course, Kenny Pickett was rated the number one quarterback to be picked in the draft, and of course, the Steelers did that as well. And we're going to take a look here at this Calvin Austin. Here, let's see where he is here. All right. I have this publication here. Here it is. Calvin Austin III. He's rated 21 out of 40 from Memphis. So, not bad for a fourth-round pick. And, I think the Steelers pretty much did their due diligence on their picks this year. It's not about quantity, it's about quality sometimes. If you can get both in the NFL draft, that's a bonus. If you don't get both, well, it's not really a bonus. All right, so there we are. All right, I will come back later on this evening after church. Keep informed by getting or being on my Facebook page. I want you can like my Facebook page, and I would like if you would please subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. You can get Sports Corner the way I see it and Mauler Talk. And what I'm going to do right now is give you the schedule for the rest of the weekend of what I'm doing here. And then tomorrow on Sunday, I will give you the schedule for the entire week of what I'm doing so you can tune in. All right, so tomorrow, starting at 11:30, Mauler's pregame. They play the Michigan Panthers tomorrow, and I got to make sure I have chicken salad, not a piece of pizza, so I don't get fired by Kirby Wilson. Don't forget, when it involves the Maulers, you got to have chicken salad instead of pizza. All right, also, immediately after the Maulers game, they start at 2:30. I will have Maulers post game. Then at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Sports Corner Draft Special. We'll be on to talk about the entire NFL draft and to talk about the entire mostly about the Steelers draft. And also, I got some bad news that I'm hearing right now. I'm hearing that Jordan Addison may be transferring to USC, Pitt's number one wide receiver. This transfer portal sometimes can be a nightmare. I just hope that Pat Narduzzi can replace it. You can't replace a talent like him. He's the Biletnikoff winner. He's going to USC. I don't understand it. We have a quarterback from USC that's here. I don't know why you'd want to go to USC. All right, I understand the weather's nicer, but you know what? I would stay here, finish up what I'm doing, and then move on. All right. But that's my opinion about that anyway. 8 o'clock tomorrow live here on YouTube and Facebook. It's going to be my Sports Corner draft review. We were going to review all of the Steelers draft picks and take your comments, as always, in the comments section as well. And we're going to be here with that tomorrow, 9:35 p.m. The Way I See It special 1-hour edition tomorrow night. We're going to have our usual stuff on The Way I See It. So don't forget to tune in. Don't forget tonight, 5 p.m. on PCTV Channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon, my TV version of Sports Corner Draft Special, along with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier. We have Joe Kuglis, local draft expert, and Claudio Rosano. So tune into that 5 p.m. today. Don't forget 4 o'clock, the Boxing Authorities, Claudio Rosano, Smoking Jim Frazier, Luther Dupree. 5 o'clock, Sports Corner with myself and co-host Smoking Jim Frazier. Once again, draft special, Claudio Rosano, Joe Kuglis as well. And don't forget at 6 p.m., Steel City Sports World, Luther Dupree, Claudio Rosano, Smoking Jim Frazier. And that is your sports show extravaganza for Saturday. PCTV, Channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon, Allegheny County. Anybody outside Allegheny County, you can get on PCTV's Facebook page. I'm Ralph Williams. It's been great to be here with you this afternoon to talk NFL draft. Don't forget to start around 5. Washington picked quarterback Sam Howell out of North Carolina. Washington has been looking for somebody to back up Carson Wentz over there. And, and now they're the Commanders. So, so we're going to go from there on that and see what happens there. Ron Rivera is their head coach there. He's been there a couple years, hasn't done too good, but I think, well, he's had some cancer issues and some other stuff. So, but I think this year the Commanders might do a little stuff there. I feel bad for Ron Rivera. He's a good coach, and he ends up, stinking up the joint at times. Maybe Sam Howell might be able to do something with that. Carson Wentz gets hurt a lot, so that's going to work for them. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I have to say, enjoy the rest of your day and be safe.